When you see an equation given implicitly, in order to find dy dx, we take the derivative with respect to x. In this situation, x squared would give us 2x, plus xy will give us plus x times dy dx plus y times 1, given by the product rule. Then minus y cubed will give us minus 3y squared dy dx, and on the right side we will get equals 0, because the derivative of 0 equals 0. When you do problems like this, it's important to see which terms are given without a dy dx and which terms do have a dy dx. So notice in red, all the terms in red have dy dx attached to them, the terms in blue do not. So an important step when you're solving for dy dx now is to do a little bit of sorting. Keep the terms with dy dx on the same side while moving over the other terms that don't have dy dx to the other side. Notice when you do this, the two terms that we have are going to change sign because you have to subtract 2x and you have to subtract y from each side. So now you can factor out a dy dx out of both of these terms, giving you dy dx, and in parentheses, you're going to be left with x minus 3y squared equaling negative 2x minus y. And the final step is simply dividing both sides by x minus 3y squared. So in the end, our answer will be dy dx is equal to, on top we'll have a negative 2x minus y, and our denominator will be x minus 3y squared. Now when you look for answers like these in the multiple choices, sometimes you'll notice that there's a negative sign and a negative sign in both terms in the numerator. If you factor that out, you'll have a negative in front, leaving you with a 2x plus y over an x minus 3y squared. In those types of situations, you do have to simplify in order to get to the correct result. So if you had this problem here, this will be very similar. The only difference is that while we have 2x, and while we have a plus x dy dx plus a y times 1, this time we're going to have a plus 3y squared dy dx, still equaling a constant 0. So when you figure out what terms are going to stay on this side and what terms are going to switch over to the other side, keep in mind which terms have a dy dx in them and which ones do not. So notice x dy dx is here in red, and a positive 3y squared dy dx will also be in red, whereas the blue terms don't have dy dx in them, so let's move things over to the correct sides. On the left, we'll keep x dy dx plus 3y squared dy dx. On the right-hand side, we'll get a negative 2x, just like before, and a negative y, just like before. So now that we can take a dy dx out of both of those terms and factor that out, we'll get left with a quantity of x plus 3y squared, whereas this will still equal a negative 2x minus y. And now we need to divide both sides by x plus 3y squared to get our final result. So dy dx solved will equal, on top, a negative 2x minus y, and on bottom, an x plus 3y squared. Once again, notice that both terms in our numerator are negative, so if we were to factor that out, we can write our answer as negative 2x plus y over x plus 3y squared.